But one thing also I got to talk about here, Jefry Yan. Now, I understand people love Jefry Yan. Jefry Yan, a big character. We know Juan Soto has the Soto shuffle when he's in a favorable hitter's count. And Jefry Yan, when he gets a strikeout, he does a little celebration. He jumps up and down. He pops up. He does the little slide. And I have mixed feelings because on one hand, yes, you love to have enthusiasm and you love to have energy amongst the players in your clubhouse. But at the same time, Jefry Yan is on a last place team. The Mets, we're last in the NL East. And I've likened his celebrations to, you ever watch a game in the National Football League in the NFL and a team is down 35 to nothing in garbage time in the fourth quarter, and they randomly score a touchdown with a minute left in the game when the game's all but decided. The touchdown is inconsequential. And the guys that scored the touchdown start dancing and celebrating. Like, what are you doing? You don't have anything to be happy about. You lost or you're losing. My other thing is this, and we saw it on Saturday. Jefry Yan thought he had a strikeout. Umpire called ball. He thought it was strike three. He jumped up and down anyway and then had to challenge and was still wrong. So he had egg on his face. Granted, he got the strikeout later in the at-bat on the next pitch against Washington. But I feel like he's setting himself up to look foolish at some point, is Jefry Yan. Again, it gets the crowd energized. He made a City Field debut this past Saturday, and the crowd loved it. We're going to post the highlights of that debut with fan cam footage on our YouTube page for the folks to see it. And even when he came out and got announced, the crowd came alive. But my issue, again, and we saw when he was in Atlanta, he had a rough outing, didn't jump up and down not one time. He walked 3 consecutive batters and was responsible for a run. If you're going to be like that, you got to keep the same energy. Don't jump up and down when you're striking guys out, and then, when you're chased out of the game, you're quiet, you have no energy. And then he's very fortunate that baseball has changed because my opposing manager, and call me old school, and some of you are not going to agree with this view, but if I'm an opposing manager and you're going to show up my guys after you strike them out, your team star player is going to get thrown at. At least that's what I would do. As the crowd has come alive for Jose Iglesias Candelita making his return to City Field, of course, out of baseball, not officially retired, but free agent this season. He's on the screen. But back to Jefry Yan. I like the celebrations, but at the same time, if the Mets were a first-place team, I would not have any commentary on it. If the Mets were even a wild card team, not saying that they can't catch him, but again, the way the season is right now, if the season ended today, Mets are in the cellar in the NL East. And I'm happy for Jefry Yan. I think Jefry Yan has... I compare Jefry Yan to a young Aroldis Chapman. Jefry Yan's clocking 103 consistently. Control issues, wild pitch issues, but nonetheless, he can throw 103. Not a lot of guys in baseball can say they can throw 100 miles per hour nowadays, let alone over 100. I know he's excited to be in the show. He had a catastrophic injury, had Tommy John, left baseball for a couple years, came back. Tremendous story. But my thing is, you got to show a little humility. You're on a last place team. Granted, the last place team has been winning as of late, which is weird to say. But you're on a last place team. When there was a bad outing, your body language was completely different. And again, he's lucky that he's not facing Tony La Russa managed teams. He's lucky that he's not facing Clint Hurdle managed teams, Jim Leland managed teams from back in the day, because you jump up and down after you strike a guy out. Your star player may get beamed, or he's lucky nobody's, or you might get the mound charge. I know Reese Hoskins in Cleveland was visibly upset at the jumping up and down celebration. So I have mixed feelings. If the Mets were winners, or Jefry Yan was the reliever of the year, or like a Mason Miller type, and you want to jump up and down and celebrate when you strike a guy out, you want to do the slide, whatever, by all means, go ahead. But you're in a team playing for nothing, and part of the winning is probably because there's no pressure anymore. So, I'm when it comes to Jeffrey Yan, I have mixed feelings. Now, if he makes this ball club next year and the Mets contend, because there's no guarantee he's here next year. He's here to see what we have for the future. But if Jeffrey Yan makes the club next year and the club is competitive, then we'll revisit the jumping up and down. But I'm so on it. Like, yeah, celebrate, but every single strikeout as well. And then you look like a fool when you think you got strike three and it's ball four. So, but no, if I were Jeffrey Yan for now, I would tone down the celebrations.